Here we see the bunny in its natural habitat. Bunnies are a nearly harmless fauna in the frontier village and only fight back in self-defense. Because of this, they are often seen as— Oh my god, no! What happened? Though they usually live in a hole hidden in the chilly approach where their grand prince rests. The reach of his territory and the power he holds over it is unknown. We can only assume it's just the interior of the hair layer. He can be found sleeping in the center of his domain, unbothered by his surroundings. Though, anyone who decides to awaken the prince with its crown is met with a savage new enemy. Hey, it's Hiron, and welcome back to Voxlblade Weaponless, the series where I try to beat the entire game while never equipping my blade, entirely solo with no outside help at any point. Without stalling any further, welcome to the 7th episode of Voxlblade Weaponless. Enjoy the show. With the completion of the Lord Frog Caverns now under my belt, I only have the Bunny Prince, Cacti King, and the Bastion left to go. And also maybe Stratos, depending on how things ultimately go, we'll see. However, the only one I could currently do was the Bunny Prince, as I had the crown from so very long ago. Do you remember this moment? Thankfully nothing crazy happened during this farming session that would completely scramble my mind and make my life 100 times easier. I mean, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? I got a mysterious crown from a magical bunny, are you kidding me? Well, this is where it finally comes into play. So, because I had this crown, I could now summon the ever-restful Bunny Prince. So let's see how this fight can be, I was gonna say conquered, but I feel like that would be just so incredibly false. And so, thus began the worst boss fight this slot has yet to face. You never realize how much you block in this game until you press F on instinct and literally nothing happens. Before I showcase the Bunny Prince fight, let me just do the, certified Hiron classic and explain every single move the Bunny Prince has. He's got like 400 bajillion moves. He's got a quick stomp into a cannon shot that he can use about 1 to 3 times. These cannon shots hit the ground near you and detonate for massive damage, along with the stomp also dealing damage, but it's much shorter range. He has a mortar summoning attack that explodes around the arena and summons bunny-type enemies to attack you. Much like summons from Cacti King and non-trusty servant player summons, these bunny mobs have decaying HP, so they don't stick around forever. In his second phase at 50% health, he will charge up a massive attack known as
legalized nuclear bombs.
Swag Messiah.
And he has one more move that haunts me in my sleep night after night. The jump into a massive, nearly arena-wide AoE Frog Slam-like explosion. If this was Lord Frog, I wouldn't be so sad. However, because the arena is made up of layers, Bunny Prince can land and explode on a layer higher than you, making it nearly impossible to predict and jump over the attack without jump boost. Normally, you would just block this attack and it wouldn't even be a problem. However, this is not the fate I was assigned. I was assigned death. As much as I complain about any of these bosses or encounters, please do note that it's from the perspective of me not using weapons, and not the actual design of the boss or the mob, or the dungeon. Looking at you, B dungeon doors. I hate those doors on Weaponless because I'm only using runes. However, with literally any other build, it's very easy to deal with it. Anywho, now that the disclaimers are over, let's go over the miserable experience that was the Bunny Prince fight. Blocking is such a fundamental mechanic in literally every single boss fights, so not having movement or block is practically a death sentence, and this fight is no different. Almost every single attack of Bunny Prince is blockable, other than the nuke in second phase. Because of this, the fight usually is a smooth one-sided fight on the side of the players. Remove that blocking mechanic, however, and now you've got a recipe for an uphill battle with a lot of tripping hazards. Fighting Bunny Prince without the ability to block is like trying to 1v1 LeBron James in basketball while you're in a wheelchair, blindfolded. Is LeBron James a basketball player? I think he is. The only moves that were a problem to me were the Slam Dunk Explosion, the Stomp Cannon combo, the Summon Mortar Fire, and the Nuke Ultimate Attack. And if you were keeping track, you'll notice that is every single move the Bunny Prince has. The entire fight is a problem for me. If you notice in the background, I'm already basically dead, but I've been living a little bit. That's because the Massive Slam has one upside to it. If you're on a higher elevation than it, you have a good chance of living. Only problem is, it's still a chance. With my first death under my belt, I realized I was about to experience some of the worst pains imaginable. Worse than my divorce back in '09. I'd experimented with the difference between Curse Flame and Dragator a bit, and Dragator armor would have actually been the better choice here. The only problem is I'm apparently very stupid, so that's a flaw I gotta get checked soon. The fight is quite simple. The only problem I had with it was the fact that I was dying more frequently than I first thought was optimal, and I seriously was worried the boss would just despawn on me. However, fireball after fireball, I slowly came to the conclusion that this was doable, and I was going to win. Jokes aside, this fight was pretty fun compared to the Queen Bumbles because I felt like I was actually fighting instead of playing a random bullet hell on a 20-minute timer. The fight itself took just under 8 minutes, which in comparison to Lord Frog and the Queen, this is a much smoother fight, even with the deaths. It's still a fight that I'd consider doing again if I got the crown, just for fun. And of course, the XP and Voxes would be great, but if I told people that, I would be called greedy. So without me blabbing on and on about greed and such, here's the rest of the Bunny Prince fight. Enjoy.